So, dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. And be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Once we get connected with our other network, we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to understand how this meditation will help for us to develop our spiritual path, and at the same time, what is the meaning of development of the spirituality. So when it comes to development or the success, in this conventional level, we have many kind of measurements. The mostly health-wise, material-wise, financial-wise, social-wise, and we try to become more better and become more successful with our desires. So that is the very conventional level of success. If you look very carefully, that is not permanent. And it's not going to be there forever with you. Another thing is, whatever the success that we gain, it's going to become very kind of like a momentary success. Another thing is, it always depending from something. And it's not going to become permanent. But that conventional success is very necessary for a person. But the thing is, if you think that conventional success as your final destination, or that conventional success as permanent, then what will happen? You misunderstand the very reality of life. So when it comes to ourselves, understanding deeply our true nature is the real success that you can gain. So meditation will help you to develop that. So what is the true nature of us? That true nature of us is, in the very beginning, we have to understand what is the meaning of me or the I am. So me or I am or the self mean all these 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, volition, and recognition. There's nothing beyond that, and there is nothing less than that. So it's complete, that 5 aggregates mean the complete understanding about you. So when it comes to your deeper practice, will purify your mind to recognize this behavior of 5 aggregates. And most of time we claim these 5 aggregates. Out of these 5 or all these 5 we claim as me or my or I am. So then by the time if you recognize it is not you, or if you recognize that all 5 aggregates happening because of something, and then there is a deeper understanding going to happen. So that understanding is the real success that you can gain as a human being in this very lifetime. So as ordinary people, we always try to do things and achieve to something. And so far in this life, that you, out of your bodily, verbally, mentally actions, you have done a lot of activities. And behind that activities, you had a desire, intention. So if you look very carefully, whatever the actions that we keep doing, there is no end, because that action will take us to some kind of result. That result will push us to another action. So the very nature of this conventional life, doing things and gaining. But meditation means another way you gain something without doing anything. So when it comes to the very tranquility state of practice, if you look very carefully to settle down yourself and allow your head to toes, your all the bodily, verbally, mentally actions to neutralize and just be in the moment and recognizing whatever happening in the moment and following the sensation and become very clear with that, bring some kind of achievement. So that is a totally different way of gaining something. That gaining, even not this conventional level of gaining, it's not going to come out of the desire. It not come out of kind of like the wanting mind. So practicing that, because we used to practice other side. You always used to practice, engage with something, interfere with something, doing something, and to achieve. But the meditation is a method. Now you slowly withdraw from that all. And when you withdraw that from that all, what happens? It brings the clarity to your own inner understanding. So why you don't have the clarity without withdrawing from the actions? Because this all the actions build on the idea of ego or the idea of self. All these senses, experience we had with the idea of self. Because of that, what happened? Out of that, the perception, whatever you experience, was not the real experience. It's somehow manipulated by your own inner preconditioned mind. So now, once you withdraw from the interference or doing something, what happened? It start to become very clear, and then that clarity will help you to understand how things come to be as they are. So that is the very purpose of this practice, just bringing you to that level. Only thing is you have to come to a point to see things very clearly. That is it. Because once you are capable to see things very clearly, that understanding will give the wisdom to yourself. So there is no kind of like a wisdom that you can learn and go with it. Only thing that you can learn to observe very clearly without interfering to the natural process. So in that way, you will see that without egocentric, self-centered mind, when you experience something, it's totally different. You have the experience, but then you recognize it happened because of something else. Once you see that, you are not going to hold it to that moment of experience. That is the first step that happens deeply when you come to that level. You are not going to hold into the moment of experience. In that very level, you get the more clarity. And then you will see that there is a kind of like a contact happens with your eye and eye object. So if that contact happen with the eye and eye object, ear and ear object, nose and nose object, tongue and tongue object, body and body object, mind and mind object. So when that contact happens, as a result of that, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness arise. So once you see this, you recognize the cause and you recognize the effect. So the moment of experience means that what you get effect out of the cause. So if you see the cause, you not hold the effect as you. But today what happened out of whatever, out of our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, whatever we experience, we hold it as I am, or the me, or the mind. But now you have the clarity to see I is something and I object is something else. Ear is something, ear object is something else. Nose is something, nose object is something else. Tongue is something, tongue object is something else. Body is different and body object is something else. Mind is different, mind object is something else. And the other thing is that whatever the object you recognize. So in the beginning, you have to recognize eye and the eye object, ear and the ear object, nose and the nose object. So like that. And then if you are capable to see that, then you recognize you can see this object itself not independent. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind object is not itself independent. It also arises as result of something else. It get the help out of something. It also depends from something. So once you see that, you are not going to be attached to eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind object, even though you experience it. See, that's how you get untangled. That's where you build up the clarity. And then once you know this, you become more and more disciplined within yourself, because you know that whatever you experience through your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind already depend from something, and it come as a result of something else. And then your discipline you build up out of that understanding, and then you more and more help you to purify yourself. So when it comes to discipline, here a little bit different. So as you know, in the world, we most of time don't do things because of the culture, tradition, because of the world say, don't do this. Society mention us, don't do this. Our parents or the friends and family members say, don't do this. Maybe they say, don't do that or don't do this because it's for their own comfort. Or maybe for the society. Or maybe the government say, don't do this. Why maybe? Maybe it helps for people to maintain the leaders to maintain their government comfortably for themselves. So like that today, we most of time practice as a kind of like a precept or the rituals, disciplines. We have very common conventional reasons. And sometimes we become so comfortable with that, and out of that comfort, we tell other people also not to do it. And then we gain the comfort and we give the comfort. So then we'll build up the comfort zone. But here, when it comes to practicing discipline and kind of like having that self-discipline and practicing precept is totally different. Now you recognize this worldly condition, worldly nature. And out of that, you develop a kind of like understanding, and out of that understanding, you build up some kind of self-discipline in you to maintain and develop that understanding more and more and more. It's not for the worldly comfort, but to inner purification. So that is the difference in between that discipline when it comes to meditation or the Buddha's teaching and the worldly nature. So in the worldly nature, in the conventional life, we have a lot of rules and regulations, and we practice a lot of precepts, but it not help us to gain the wisdom. But people may be comfortable for that. But here you have to be very clear. So whatever, if you don't do something, and you have to understand why you don't do it. And if you stay away from something, you have to remember and understand why you don't do or why you stay away from it. Because maybe for the worldly conditions or the worldly comfort or inner purification. So most of time, we develop our disciplines or the precepts and out of the self-centered mind or the egocentric mind. And as example, when we build up a hierarchy or when we build up a society, when we build up a leadership, to keep the authority, we put some rules and regulations on the top of other lives. So then the people to pay their respect or to obey the leaders, and sometimes they follow that rules and regulations. But it's not going to help us to purify our inner understanding. So then always you have to remember, especially when it comes to vipassana level of practice. So whatever the discipline or the precept that you carry within yourself or you develop yourself should help or develop your inner understanding or the inner purification or the develop your inner wisdom. So that come out of understanding and recognizing how the inside world and the outside world work. What is the inside world? Means your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness. So what is the outside world? Means eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, object. These two has a different nature. So, but once you recognize and understanding the behavior of these two, without holding this inside or the outside world, you are capable to experience it. That is what called the, in a certain way, another way, that the being mindful in the moment. So because whatever you experience, you're not going to claim it as yours, but you have the total clarity and understanding, and you know what is happening, and you know what you experience, but still you are not holding it. So in that way, you recognize more deeply, thoroughly, this causation or the cause and effect. It's moment by moment, moment by moment. Things happen because of many reasons. So once you come to this understanding, or once you develop this clarity in you, it will help you to go a little bit more deeper within yourself and gain this moment of clarity, and that recognition itself give the liberation to you. That recognition itself, that inside and the outside, this separation, the world, understanding separately, that understanding itself give the ability to detach. It's not kind of like you try to detach from something. It's not kind of like you try to forget something, because now this experience itself give you the clarity. It is not something to hold. That understanding itself is the moment of detachment, or the moment of freedom. So that freedom have a kind of like a different way of satisfaction or the happiness. So that happiness not depend on this worldly condition. So that is a totally different way of happiness. So out of practicing meditation, you gain that happiness. And once you experience that happiness, then you know which one is good for you. This conventional level of happiness or that eternal level of happiness. So once you know that, you will decide what you want. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck hit straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment you're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens through the sensation, recognize it. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. Into your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chamni sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Imaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi. Addhaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.